All right, before we get rolling with this video, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all of your well wishes. I have been pretty sick, and it's been a pretty rough day, but I really feel like I'm starting to get back up now and start moving around. I want to say a special thanks to Coach D for contributing a video to kind of keep us rolling. I hate for there to be complete silence here on the channel, and so shout out to Coach D for having my back. It actually kind of all started. Whatever this is that I have, and no, I don't have COVID. I've tested for that, and that came back negative. But whatever this was kind of started during the live stream that I was doing with Coach D after the Tim Walz, JD Vance debate. I was just sort of sitting here. My head was kind of hurting, and I kept having to cough and clear my throat. And I just kind of wrote it off that, well, you've had a long day, and, you know, maybe you just need to get some rest. And then I did, and I woke up the next day and just felt like death. It was as though I had the flu is what it felt like. It was very flu-like symptoms, just aching, chilling, headache. Felt pretty rough. And then as the day would go on, all of a sudden I'd feel good. I'd get out of bed and walk around for a few minutes, and then boom, right back down. So I'm back up at the moment, and hopefully we'll stay that way. But thank you guys so much for your well wishes. I tell you, one thing that makes me feel better. One thing that makes me feel better is realizing that Donald Trump realizes the walls are starting to close in on him. And when I saw this clip, I thought, yep, I'm starting to feel better already. Take a look.
No, this is a radical left lunatic we're dealing with. By the way, if she wins, it's not going to be so pleasant for me, but I don't care. I really don't care. We have a
Yeah, he realizes that the walls are starting to close in. And I've said from the beginning, when people say to you that, they're trying to indict him during the middle of his campaign, the right answer is no. He's trying to campaign during the middle of all these indictments because he's trying to dodge any and all accountability. And he knows the walls are closing in, and they're closing in even harder because of this bombshell from Jack Smith. And we're going to read this here from the Midas Touch Network. Jack Smith drops bombshell filing. Folks, this is really big news, and it's still a developing story at the moment. But this is from Ron Philip Wachowski. We finally get to see long-awaited evidence in the J6 case. Jack Smith made a blockbuster pretrial filing this month in the January 6th case against Donald Trump, revealing for the first time many key pieces of evidence in the case. And today, Judge Tanya Chutkan released a redacted version of the 165-page filing, and now the public will know the evidence Trump is facing. In the new filing, Smith writes, the defendant also knew that he had only one last hope to prevent Biden's certification as president, the large and angry crowd standing in front of him. So for more than an hour, the defendant delivered a speech designed to inflame his supporters and motivate them to march to the Capitol. When the Supreme Court created their new three-part test to determine whether a former president has immunity for crimes committed while in office, part of the procedure they mandated was for the DOJ to present each individual piece of evidence for the court to consider whether immunity applied. While this resulted in a lengthy delay of the case until well after the November election, it allowed Smith to make a redacted filing of some of the discovery in the case. What comes next? Trump's legal team will file their response brief why immunity should apply to each individual piece of evidence and testimony. Then Judge Chutkan will make rulings on each piece by applying the Supreme Court's vague test. Then Trump and or Jack Smith will appeal these rulings, which will likely end up back in the Supreme Court next summer. So this is most likely all we are going to get made available to us before the election. And you can read the full brief here, and this is on MidasNews.com. So yeah, this story is still breaking. But the main thing here, folks, is that I just want to see Donald Trump held accountable. I know we all do. This was too big of a moment in American history to just completely allow it to be swept under the rug. And all these politicians out there, including JD Vance, who still refuses to say whether or not Donald Trump lost the election, I really don't understand why they would do that. You would think that right now, more than anything, they would be wanting to try to save their political careers. The fact that they have latched on to this guy, even after all that he did to undermine democracy, is just truly disgusting. So I really hope that we do see him held accountable. It should have been a lot sooner. I understand that things needs to run their course in the legal system, and I don't understand how all of that works. I just understand sometimes these things takes time. But it's really felt like that Donald Trump was avoiding accountability every step of the way, and that's the whole reason why he was running for president, was to avoid that accountability. I don't buy into this stuff when he says, "Oh, I could have been off, playing golf. I could have been off, having a good life on a resort somewhere." I don't buy that. I think the reason why he's running is not because he thought Joe Biden was doing a bad job. It's because he's trying to avoid any and all accountability. But if you notice out there on the trail, anytime he's in front of a microphone, he is absolutely coming unglued. And here he is thinking that he gets the president of North Korea confused with Iran. He's just completely off the rails at this point. Take a look.
Would not get us. They said that we have to guard the United Nations, which meant the president of North Korea, who's basically trying to kill me. So they want to guard him, but they don't want to guard me. So we're going to start having it out with them because we've sort of had.
Well, I'm sure after all the love letters that Trump has exchanged with Kim Jong-un, that Kim Jong-un wasn't too happy to hear that, to hear him get confused with the leader of Iran. But Trump is just coming unglued at this point, and here he is, again, repeating the same old ridiculous lie. And why more and more people don't call him out on this and make him bring the receipts is beyond me. But take a look at this.
To educate our youth, our opponents are using government schools to indoctrinate children, pushing radical transgender ideology on children, and changing the child's gender without even parental consent. Can you imagine that? Your child leaves for school and comes home and their gender has been changed. I don't want to get into the details, but it's not even believable. Without parental consent. All of that's changing. It's changing immediately.
Folks, there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever to back up that claim, and yet he continues to go out and make it. And people continues to give him a pass and allow him to say it. I have 5 kids. I know what it's like to put kids through school. I know what all you go through to get them through school. And I know all the papers I sign on a daily basis to allow them to participate in this and participate in that, or what I have to end up sending money to for them to be able to do. When at the beginning of the year, when we buy school supplies, and I don't mean to sound like a parent here that's bitching about things, but I completely understand buying pencils, notebooks, things to that nature. But they've got us buying Kleenexes. They've got us buying wet wipes. They've got us buying rolls of paper towels, things that in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Maybe they should take care of that. So it's really hard for me to believe that in a world where I have to buy the paper towels, the napkins, the wet wipes, and the everything else, that my kid could just one day go to school and come home with an operation. But no one ever holds him down on this crap and ever holds him accountable for it. He's always allowed to just say these things, and there's people out there gullible enough to buy it. But in this next clip, he's saying right out loud that it doesn't matter if immigrants are here legal or not. He would revoke that and send them back to their country. Take a look.
Springfield is such a beautiful place. Have you seen what's happened to it? It's been overrun. You can't do that to people. They have to be removed.
So you would revoke the temporary protected status?
Absolutely. I'd revoke it and I'd bring them back to their country.
So the next time someone tries to tell you that, oh, he's all for him coming here legally, no, he's not. Right there's the proof. What Donald Trump wants is to get everybody out of this country that would disagree with him. And if you think he would stop with just immigrants, I mean, that's my thing. If a guy would revoke someone's legal status and send them home anyway, what would he do to people who stood up to him and disagreed with him? Especially considering that every time he opens his mouth, he always finds a way to praise dictators. That's the part that disturbs me and should disturb any rational person out there. But every problem, according to Trump and Vance, it's always the immigrants' fault. And if you'll notice during the debate with Vance and Walz, every time they brought up a subject, just like the same with when Trump debated Kamala, it always circled back to being the immigrants' fault. We have had a whole lot of problem with gun violence in this country. He tried to blame it on them and say they were the ones smuggling guns in. When every school shooting we've had, every time someone's tried to take a shot at Trump, we've always found that the weapon was purchased legally. He tried to blame immigrants for his mother's drug addiction when she actually stole pharmaceuticals that had nothing to do with them. They blamed them for everything. And I don't want to live in a country where we say to people that are trying to come here and make a better way for themselves, I don't want to live in a country where we send people like that home. I don't want to live in a country where we have mass deportations. I want to see us fix the problems that we have, and I want to see us help people find ways to get here legally and contribute to our society. But I don't want to live in a world where just because someone doesn't look and sound like me, they get sent back to their country. I don't believe in that at all. And so I really hope that we get to see Donald Trump held accountable in the future. And the main place, folks, if you want to see him held accountable, then the main place you got to start at is on November 5th when you go vote. Or if you vote early, however you go about it, you got to vote. That's the first step to holding him accountable because, like we saw earlier in this video, he knows that if he loses, things are going to be pretty rough for him, as they should be. As they should be. He's being held accountable for the things that he's done and the things that he's done right out in the open. So whenever they try to sit back and tell you, oh, he didn't do any of these things, it's all a hoax, we have the receipts. We have him saying, go to the Capitol and fight like hell. It doesn't matter if somewhere in the middle of that he used the word, oh, yeah, peacefully somewhere in the middle. They came there to stop the steal. That's what you got to remember. That's the name of the event. They always try to weasel their way out of these things by saying, well, we weren't there to do anything violent. Well, the name of the event was called Stop the Steal. And back when he said there were good people on both sides, well, who showed up? The people waving the Nazi flags. The name of the event was called Unite the Right. So people with those flags felt as though they could come and they could be part of that. They felt united with people on the right. I'm still trying to get over whatever crud this is I have, but I enjoy sitting here talking to you guys so much. So I was like, you know what? I got to get back in the saddle. This is killing me. And so I was like, you know what? If I have to bring my water with me, I will. I really appreciate you guys so much for supporting what it is that I do. And I know what somebody's going to say, Brando, you didn't have to do this. Just take care of yourself. Well, I am. I'm taking my medicine, taking my vitamins. I'm drinking plenty of water. I'm staying hydrated. But I got to get up and get moving. If I just lay down and do nothing, I'll feel worse. So I appreciate you guys for plowing through this video with me. I know I don't sound as up to par as I normally do, but I truly appreciate you guys for coming along for the ride and supporting what it is that I do. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've made it over 300,000. I think last time I looked, we were at 315. No, wow, we're at 317. We're at 317,000 317,000 subscribers. That's truly amazing to me. I can't believe we made it that far, but because it seems like just the other day I was hanging that plaque for the 100,000. You guys got us here, so we're on our way to 500,000. We'll get there with your guys' help, and I appreciate it. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I probably won't be able to do the show on Sunday that I planned on doing on members only. But you know what? If I rally, I will. So just stay focused for that, or stay tuned for that. And I'll make sure to, if I can, I'll bust up my guitar and sing some. I'm not going down easy, folks. So thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a great weekend.